We were blessed and fortunate and made a trip to Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands. And our ship, the Isabella II, had no cabin number 13. But we have a 13th episode. So stay tuned for some housekeeping on past and future content. But first, let's hear some epic content from OG Wayne Goldsmith.
Hi, my name is Wayne Goldsmith for the International Swimming Coaches Association. I want to talk today about coaching. I know that ISCA is all about swimming coaching, but just let's talk about coaching. What is coaching? Coaching is the art of inspiring change through emotional connection. It's the art of inspiring change through emotional connection. When we're involved in swimming, it's normal and it's natural to be obsessed by the things we can see, we can feel, we can buy, we can download, that we can measure. And particularly early on in your swimming coaching, we become very focused on sets and reps, what we call the big three in exercise physiology: volume, intensity, and frequency. How much, how hard, how often. And it's normal and natural when you're starting off as a swimming coach to want to find out what is it that the best coaches are doing with their training sets. How do they write workouts? How do they design their programs? And we all head in that direction because I can see it, I can feel it, I can measure it, I can observe it, I can video it, I can see it online, I can see it on videos. And yet when you've been in coaching for a while, when you've been in and around coaching and worked with some outstanding coaches, as I've had the great fortune to do for such a long period of time, you realize that coaching is so much more. I'll give you an example. Every time you write a training workout, every time that you design a training session, you use those variables of volume, intensity, and frequency. 2100s on 150, 20 times 50 butterfly on 130. Volume, intensity, frequency. When you write a workout, you're using the science of sport: volume, intensity, and frequency. For most coaches, they leave it there and assume that if they get the workout right, if the workout design is correct, then everything will flow. The volume, intensity, and frequency of your workout, if you like, is what we call the content. It's the content of your training session. However, this is where the art of coaching comes in. Every time you write a workout, every time you develop a workout, every time you put together your content of your workout, you do so with the underlying assumption that the swimmers will do it. They'll perform your workout with the intent with which you wrote it, that they will perform the workout deliberately and purposefully with the intent with which you wrote the content. The content is not the key, particularly now, coaches. Around the world, it is easy to get content. On your phone is more information, more ideas, more innovations in swimming than any coach has had in the history of swimming. You have that in your pocket. Anyone can get anything, anywhere, anytime, for free and in the palm of your hand. Everyone knows what you know. Everyone knows the same content that you know. The difference now between being a good coach and an exceptional coach is not in the content. It's in the intent. It's in the art of coaching. It's in the coaching part of swimming coaching. When everyone knows the science, it's the art that makes the difference. It's the art, if you like, that drives the effectiveness of the science. I often say the greatest power that you have as a swimming coach is not just encouraging the kids to do workout or how many laps they do or what speed they're doing at it. It's the art of coaching in telling kids, inspiring kids, in teaching kids the power of choice. The power of choice. Because you might have a workout up on the board, you might have designed it really well, consulted a lot of science around it, have designed something of great scientific balance and something that should make a big difference. But what will make your workout exceptional is when you've inspired, you've taught, you've coached a young swimmer to believe in the power of their choice so that they choose to do your workout to an exceptional standard. You know, too many coaches stand at the end of the pool with a stopwatch, yelling times, yelling splits, yelling paces, and don't get that the real art of what we do is in the relationships that we have with our athletes, in our ability to inspire the heart and mind of the athletes, to grab whatever we give them and to turn it into something remarkable. Spend time designing and developing brilliant workouts. Understand the science of swimming. That's very important. But just as important, and I would argue even more important, is your ability to coach that workout so that the athletes make the choice to perform your content with the intent with which it was written and to do everything that you prescribe for them to the full extent of their potential. This has been Wayne Goldsmith for the International Swimming Coaches Association.
The essence of coaching is an art, and its roots are in changes. People of sports are change makers. The heavy part of sports and coaching is emphasizing that it's not just about the technical aspects like volume, intensity, and frequency. Sports and coaching is about inspiring athletes through emotional connections. Anyone can access workout content. The true difference between a good coach and an exceptional one lies in the intent behind the coaching. Let's focus on building relationships among athletes and people of sport. Leaders and coaches are great at inspiring people to make choices that elevate their performance.
Let's take a look at the first dozen jump cuts from Heavy or Not. Allow a moment for clarification and housekeeping. I'm Mark Rodericus, a longtime journeyman coach, publisher, and advocate in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. Jump cuts are not show episodes. The long-term destiny for Heavy or Not is as a show with a production team and broadcast quality episodes. The show treatment is published at youcanswim.org/heavy-or-not. If those in Hollywood or ESPN or Disney are interested, give me a call. But these jump cuts are delivered with a number, and they're more like a lap in our journey of life. Another aim of the jump cut is to find our voice, using the tools, engaging AI, as well as putting input into our aquatic community. So subscribe, review, refer others. Heavy or Not is now available on all podcast outlets. So do wade into the archives, as these are timeless and evergreen bits of wisdom. So jump cut number 1 covered the mindset for the athlete. Number 02 was more technical with swim drills and kicking. Number 3 peeked into the AI in sports. Number 4 went hyperlocal into aquatics within Pittsburgh Public Schools. Number 5 covered Maglishko and Dalen's intel gathering in Europe. Number 6 made us think about mentors and work and play. Number 7 asked about lifting and what ages to start. Number 8 was a recap from Steve Friederang's Competitive Swimmer magazine. Number 9 was a peek into the ebook, Readings from the Book of Coach Mark. Number 10 was a beatdown on a 20-minute film, A Swim Lesson. Number 11 introduced Barry Healy from BC, Canada, with much more in upcoming episodes. Number 12 covered supplements, a nutritional thing. Number 13, you just heard from Wayne Goldsmith, always a source of wisdom in this housekeeping. And then the next jump cut, number 14, presents a mind journey. So a recent panel discussion from big-time coaches from the Eastern States Clinic is worth listening to in a future lap. Considering what Wayne Goldsmith has preached as to the technical aspect, volume, intensity, and frequency, these jump cuts, for Heavy or Not, are going to strive for, well, we could do daily frequencies, but that would cause a bit of a burnout. So that's a golden rule of mine. Don't burn out. Live to fight another day. You know, I do have enough content to make this a daily podcast, but nothing else to get done in those other looming big projects. So I expect Heavy or Not to drop 2 times a week on Mondays and Thursdays moving into the future. We'll also be turning up the intensity with IT solutions. Our digital world in swimming and sports is pretty whacked. I'm not going to be happy with those tools that are out there now throughout our shared landscape. And so we're going to bring new solutions to the marketplace, and we'll be talking about them here within these jump cuts. Your teams, your schools, your athletes are going to want to stay in the loop. And just hours ago, I got some great news from an OG that all of you should know, Dr. Ernie Miglishko. He's a member of the ISCA Hall of Fame, and he's been one of our greatest authors. Well, he just wrote and delivered to me a whole new section for his ebook, and it's fully updated on propulsion. So stay tuned for that. We'll bring that as soon as possible. Another huge upcoming event in the release is a set of books from a sports psychologist from Canada, John Hogue. His Mental Skills for Young Athletes is a universal book for all youngsters. Furthermore, he has specific books geared to those of different age groups for swimming. And have you heard the other ISCA-supported podcast from Summer Fink called Lane 1? She talks with her coach and dad, Joe Fink, and another episode is with Mark Barandino. The interactive parts of Heavy or Not are coming soon too. Think about what you'd like to share. Let's talk clinics. The Eastern States Clinic in the Philly area and the Central States Clinic in Chicagoland and the International Swimming Hall of Fame Clinic in Fort Lauderdale have had a change in ownership. Again, Sue Davis, a longtime coach at Swarthmore, now retired, was a cornerstone of those events for decades, along with others such as Peter Dalen. While Mark Schubert has partial ownership, and he recently got others involved, Doug Fonder and Brad Glenn, but they've now since departed. And Mark Schubert has picked up with the American Swim Coaches Association as a partner. So more on clinics, and from the clinics are sure to be woven into future jump cuts. A 3-part series for starting and coaching water polo, geared especially to swim coaches, is coming within the seminars at wafsu.org. WAFSU is the World Aquatic Federation of Schools and University. See WAFSU.org. Dozens of past seminars are in the wafsu.org learning management system already. So here's my 2 parting questions. What podcasts do you listen to? In our family, we're sad to hear of the termination of the ABC and Disney podcast, The 538. Personally, I was also sad to miss the high school swim meet in my backyard, the WPIL Swimming Championships, District 7 of the PIAA. I've been lucky to serve as a color broadcast in past seasons, but I was wondering, how did the Westmoreland Sports Network do this year? The National Federation of High School Network, NFHS, has been gobbling up the rights to a lot of high school meets. So my next question is, how's the NFHS doing with promotion of high school swimming and diving, as well as other sports in your neck of the woods? So chime in, I'd like to know. Until the next podcast, thanks for listening.
Hampton is right there with him. In fact, now it looks like Hampton is in the lead as they come in at the same time. They are tied, 46-62. Ringside in Hampton.